Good
Hi,
morning
good morning. My name is Barbara Hawkins Dixon,
and good morning. I'm Darlene Mayman.
and our topic today is would well, I'm gonna let Darlene announce the
Our
topic.
topic today is would you marry a woman that disrespects your mom? And my answer to that is no. And the reason why I say no is because how could you marry someone who disrespect your mom? I mean that because that is so disrespectful. How can you deal with a woman and they don't like your mother or disrespecting your mom? That would never work because every time the mom or her get together, it'd always be a conflict. So I don't think that would work out. I would say no to that answer. What would you say, Barbara?
I would totally say the same. That no, because uh, one thing for sure, if you go in the marriage with a person that disrespects your mom, well, we gonna even turn it a little bit more and say, as far if you would you marry any one, meaning the female or the male that
Mm-hmm.
disrespects your mom.
Right.
Because no, because if you go into a situation right there, you already starting conflict in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because for one, mom, of course, we always feel that marriage is lasts forever. That's the way we dreamed of it as a child. That
Mm-hmm.
marriages are forever, but unfortunately, in today's society, it doesn't work like that all the time with the
Mm-hmm.
divorce rates and everything now. But
Mm-hmm.
mom is gonna always be mom. I
Right.
always say you could have as many kids as you want, you could have as many spouses as you want, but
Mm-hmm.
you gonna only have one mother. And
Right.
so, with that being said, I would never marry anyone that disrespects my mom, calls my mom harm in any type of way.
Right. And I agree with that. And it says that when you get married, you leave away from your parents and don't it's not first. Your wife is first. But then, sometimes you have to look at, how involved is the mother or the father, or the parents of each one. Because sometimes you can get parents that or mother or father that stays in the marriage, stay in the business a lot, and that could make the mother, that could be a reason why the in-laws don't get along because they in their business too much, and that can cause a conflict too. So, and then you got the mother-in-laws that they say from hell. You got the mother-in-law that they say from hell who just all in your business and trying to tell the son what to do with the marriage or trying to tell the daughter what to do with the marriage, and then that causes a conflict too. So that's something to really think about. I mean, I don't if me as a mother and have kids, I wouldn't get myself involved in my kids' marriage. I think I would give them some advice on, if they ask me some things that they want to know. But I would never jeopardize in their marriage and tell them that they should do this and they should do that because those are decisions that they supposed to make. But everybody's not like that. You got some people that just, won't stay out of the business. And once you let them in, it becomes a problem, Barbara.
Yeah, that's true. Even in my case, with my grown children and relationships, I
Mm-hmm.
don't get into their relationships. The only time I involve myself is if they ask me for advice.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I feel something is not right, as
Right.
a mother, you're gonna get that feeling
Right.
that something is not right. And if
Yeah.
I ask my child, uh, is everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they say no, I leave it like that because
That,
I figured, okay, when they ready to talk, they would talk
right.
and ask for my advice. But until
Right.
they ask for it, I stay out of it.
Right.
A lot of times, we are women ourselves, but a lot of women get the misconception that yes, the Bible states that when you marry, that your wife comes first, you
Mm-hmm.
become. But a lot of women think that because of that quote, in the Bible, that
Right.
that means that the parents is they is obsolete in some type of way,
Right.
that you're supposed to just forget about them. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the way it is.
Right.
Because if that marriage don't work,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be out the picture. But your parents is
Gonna
always your
always
parents.
be there. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, it's gonna always be there. So
Yeah.
me being married, I never felt like I was my husband's my mother-in-law was beneath me,
Mm-hmm.
because now that I'm the wife.
Mm-hmm.
Because actually, when you look at it, a lot of times you have to look at the way a man treats his mother. So if
Right.
he doesn't treat his mother with love
Mm-hmm.
and respect, what do you think you're going to get?
Right. Right. I
Because
agree.
the
I agree with
mother
that.
is the first love. So
Yeah.
if you are not treating her right, then what is the spouse gonna get? The same type of treatment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So don't agree with your spouse treating the parents in a wrong way, because you're gonna get the same treatment down the line somewhere.
True. That is true. And only time I think you should really get involved when it comes to the parents, unless it's something that is harmful toward the person. Then I can see you, stepping into it to make sure that, your child is safe, like being abused or something like that. But if it's not anything that's harmful to them, because marriages, you're going to have differences, you're going to not always agree on things. And so that happens. But, that's how I feel. Unless it's something abusive or something going on, then I can see the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, stepping in because they're concerned about their child. So of course you're going to get involved with that situation. But I had to ask you a question too. They say, have you seen little things like they'll show a video or something? I seen a couple of videos while we was talking about this discussion where the mother-in-law, okay, or the mother-in-law, they going out in the car somewhere, and the mother-in-law sits in front of the front seat, right? And the wife goes to the back. Do you agree with that?
Well, it all depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I say, I think it depends on your upbringing
Right.
and the respect that you
That
have
respect. Yes.
for your mother-in-law.
Yes.
Because even at my age,
Mm-hmm.
uh, when me and my husband went to pick up my mother-in-law to take her somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
I always offered to get in the back and let
Yes.
her sit in the front.
Yes. Yes.
Because for one, that's his mother. And for number two,
It's just the
she's older
respect.
than I am. And so
Yes.
that's the respect. So I
Yeah.
feel it's easier for her to get in the front and then the back. And
Yeah.
there have been times she would say, well, no, you sit up front with your
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think just out of respect, you should offer
Yeah.
to sit in the back.
Yeah.
And her said, well, no, you sit up there with your
Yeah. Yeah.
husband.
Yeah.
That's just showing
That's
respect.
that's just showing respect. I agree too. I don't see a problem with. I would. It wouldn't even be no questions asked. I will open the door for my mother-in-law to sit in the front, and I wouldn't have a problem with sitting in the back because she's the elder. She's
Right.
older. Like I said, it's just the respect of it. That's his mom, or if that's my mom. Let them sit in the front. But you got some women. who get offensive with that because they figure the wife is supposed to come first. Your mother sits in the back, and
But that's the maturity level.
yes,
See,
I agree
every
with that.
woman don't have the same maturity level.
That's
That's
true.
what I said from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Once they have a partner, uh that partner feel like, okay, now they number one. So,
Yeah.
the parent is obsolete. So it's the same as I see it, is if your husband,
Mm-hmm.
you and your husband is picking up your mother,
Mm-hmm.
and your husband sit in the front and let your mom sit in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very inappropriate.
It is.
Unless the mother say, as I said, no,
Yeah.
you sit up there with your wife.
Right.
I said, but I don't think it's right for the man, the husband, to sit in the front with his wife and her mother sit in the back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not a biased situation, it's a humane thing.
Yeah. I
And it's
agree.
all about respect.
Yes, I agree with that too. Because my mother-in-law was such a sweetie. She was a sweet lady. She didn't have to say. I remember times when we used to pick her up, and she would sit in the. I would tell her she can sit in the front, and she would always say, "No, it's okay. I'll sit in the back." And then I would say, "No, I want you to sit in the front." And it's okay. Let her know I have nothing against that. You, his mom, of course, I respect you and let you sit in the front. So it all depends the maturity of yourself. You right because, like I said, some people are not like that. Some wives just figure, I don't care if that's your mom or not. I'm sitting in the front, or I come first. She's sitting in the back. And to
Right.
me, that
And
is
that's
just
when I get
disrespectful.
rid of her or him,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because of the
yeah.
fact then you showing me the respect that you have for my
But
mom.
yeah, that's true.
So
Mm-hmm.
no, that wouldn't happen. Even like I say, when we picked up my mother-in-law, uh,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes she would say no, you sit up there with your husband.
Yeah.
She might be having a bad day. She might be hurting. We know as
Mm-hmm.
we get older how your body changes
Yes.
and aches and hurts and everything. So it could be
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable for her
Right.
to get in the back. And so
Right.
a few occasions she would say she would take me up on an offer to sit in the front, in
Mm-hmm.
which that didn't bother me at all because
Right.
I'm doing what I'm doing from my heart and from the
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
I was raised and my
Yeah.
upbringing and the respect that I have for her. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's no problem. Whether I sit in the front or whether I sit in the back, I'm still your wife and you still my husband, and that's
Right.
your brother. So
Right.
that don't make you no more uh in control by sitting in the front.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you got to look at it too. I mean, you got to respect mom. That's all I can see. That I respect mom, whether it's the mother-in-law or your mother, it should be respected. Even with the fathers and fathers-in-law too, it should always be respect. Because if you can't respect my mom or dad, or I can't respect your mom and dad, then I don't see how me and you can, get along or be together if you can't accept my parents, or you disrespect my parents. I got a problem with that. I wouldn't want to be with nobody who disrespect my parents, especially disrespect my mom. That's
Absolutely.
totally a no-no, because when you disrespect her, you disrespecting me too.
Yes. And
Yeah,
then that's causing a problem right there because
yeah,
now you have resentment in you because
yes,
you didn't appreciate how that played out.
yeah,
So that's resentment that you holding
yeah,
in that's going to eventually come out.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, this was a short one today, you guys, but this was a topic that was put in our inbox to talk about, respecting the mothers-in-laws or the father-in-laws, and could you see yourself marrying someone that disrespect your parents? And so we just gave you some things and how we feel. Everyone has their own opinion on how they think about things, but from what I see, I say if you don't respect my mom or my parents, then I don't see how you respect me. I couldn't deal with anybody like that. Barbara?
And that is so real
Yes.
because that happens a lot of times,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and that is just a problem.
Right.
It's not going to be a happy marriage.
It's not going to
And
be a happy marriage.
you already starting it off on bad terms.
Yes. Yes. Now,
and
like
so
I said,
conflict where you feel like you have to be in comparison with the mother-in-law or comparison with the daughter-in-law.
That's
You
true.
know, that's not the way it's supposed to be.
And
So
it should.
people, get your acts together, step up your game, uh, get your maturity level up, and realize that it was a life. Your spouse had a life before you came in the
True.
picture.
Right.
And the parents gonna always be the parents.
Always be.
So
Right.
you never walk and think that you are superior to the parents because
Right.
you are not.
That
When
is
that
true.
marriage fail, the parents is still going to be there.
Yes, yes, that is true. All right, you guys, we glad to be back today. We know we've been off of here for a while, but we've been having so much going on, and our computer's been giving us trouble. So we're sorry about not being on here so long. We're gonna continue to try to come on here as much as we can. Continue to give us topics to talk about because we enjoy these conversations, and we hope you're enjoying the videos that we are giving to you, Barbara.
Yes, so we be looking forward to seeing doing another one next Sunday. And we, as Darlene said, we have been busy. Our schedule's been off, having so many other obligations to do. So we going to prioritize getting these done at least once a week.
Yes.
And
All right.
continue to join us. And we appreciate your comments and keep them coming.
That's right. You guys have a blessed and wonderful day, and we'll be back on here next week. God's will. Bye.
Bye.